me check. Yes, I can see your screen.
Oh, okay. And if I put it on, let's see, slideshow mode, let's see if it does it.
Yes, perfect. That's perfect.
Okay.
Hey,
Wait.
Mikhail.
Power on. Bluetooth mode.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that Salman will be recording the session, and then he will be uploading a tape to our Notion page. And Ernest will be live streaming the whole session, so you will have recordings everywhere. Get the message out. We are streaming.
We're on a starting soon screen, but currently live.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I hope a few more members will join. But if not, anyways, I think the recordings are great, and we are streaming, which is also great. So we have some material, and yeah, actually, the walkthrough will be a bit easier now that the room is smaller. I think, yeah, maybe just one more minute to see if people will join, and then I think you can just go ahead.
I've got the presentation on my whole screen. So how many people are in the room right now?
I think we're around 6.
Okay, it's a nice small room. Sounds good. And we've got 6. Yeah, you know, where I live, we actually have a bunch of moose. It's pretty crazy.
Oh wow! In Austria, we have also deers. It's like I would just
So I'm Daniel, and super excited to be here and talking to you, and really excited about all the work that Bankless DAO is doing. I think that there's so much, and you'll see this as we move through the presentation, vision and values alignment between Bankless and Thrivecoin, and I'm excited to see what we can do together. And I wanted to start by just giving you a little bit of background on me and some of the stuff I've been doing and why I'm so passionate about this work that I think is deeply aligned with your work. So the last 15 years or so, I've been deeply excited about this idea of a contribution economy, worlds in which people can contribute value to their communities, and what they get in return is something more intrinsically meaningful and extrinsically valuable than a dollar. And I had the opportunity to build an organization in the philanthropic world, build another organization in the culture space. They touched many people. Clients were like Google or Microsoft or Citibank or KPMG. And when we exited that organization, the second one about a year and a half ago, took a step back, looked at the blockchain, got deep into the blockchain, and went, oh my gosh, you know, what we can do on chain is so much bigger and badder and more impactful than what we could have ever done before that. And that was sort of the inspiration behind Thrivecoin. And we've got a really big vision. You know, we believe in a world where it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what your background is. If you create value, you should be rewarded with ownership in the future that you're helping to create. And the impact of that is if crypto communities can support people in being rewarded for the value that they create, being recognized for the value they create, then we're creating real thriving communities. And when we create real thriving communities, it creates a thriving world. And the problem that we're dealing with right now is that, and you know, I'm sure all of you are feeling it in different ways. Today, DAO communities, crypto communities are suffering. And it's not just because of a crypto winter. I mean, that may amplify it a little bit, but that's not really the core of it. The core of it is that we haven't had the tools, the connective tissue to create real thriving crypto communities. And, you know, there are a couple pieces connected to that. The first is that it's really hard still for people to figure out how to make contributions to DAOs. Where are they? What can they do? What do they need to go do it? The second is that it's hard for DAOs to thank contributions when contributions are made. And there are two ways in which contributions can be thanked. It's hard for DAOs to reward people, and it's hard for DAOs to recognize people. The third problem is that it's hard for leaders in DAOs to learn from any of it, because often they don't even know where activity, the contributions are happening, and when they do, it's happening across all kinds of platforms, maybe on Snapshot, Discord, Discourse, the list goes on and on. So how do you get data and turn that data into insights if people are everywhere all the time? And the final problem is probably the only one that's really connected with this moment in time, which is that it's not as fun as it once was. It's really fun when everybody's hyped and excited and crypto's going through the roof and so on. But when you blink your eyes, you look around and you go, wow, this moment is a little bit harder than other moments. Then it's really important to just notice, A, it's not so fun, but B, or as fun as it once was, what can we do about it? And so that's a lot, right? I mean, that's a lot. And we were really excited at ThriveCoin to figure out what it means to address all of it. And so what we're excited to do is sort of reignite engagement and excitement and wonder in crypto communities, starting with DAO and NFT communities. And, we're going to kind of walk through how this works. It's actually way simpler than the complexity that it almost looks like. But what we do is we make it really easy for people to make contributions to the communities that they care about, for all Bankless members to be able to make the kinds of contributions that drive engagement for Bankless. We're also going to make it easy for leaders in Bankless and Bankless to thank contributions that are made, both thank those contributions with rewards and also with recognition. We're also going to make it easy for Bankless to learn from everything, because we record all contributions on chain, regardless of where they are and what platform they're on. And so we can get that data and turn it into insights. And finally, we want to make this thing fun and extraordinarily meaningful, and even history making, even historical. So we've got kind of it's three major innovations plus fun. And we'll get to see them in just a second, because we'll walk through how it works. We can even give some people on the call the opportunity to play with it as well. But three major innovations. So make. The way that we make it really easy for people to contribute in ways that are supportive of Bankless is that we can actually auto-validate contributions across all the platforms in which people are hanging out. So if somebody votes on Snapshot, if they chat in a meaningful way on Discord, if they contribute to a forum on Discourse, if they follow Bankless or tweet at Bankless on Twitter, the list goes on and on. We can see that, and we can validate that happened. So we make it really easy to make contributions. And then on the thank piece, we then can auto reward with crypto all of the contributions that are made, and also auto give people a thank you note on chain that can be looked at forever by the person who's made that contribution, as well as by the community. We also make it really easy for all the leaders at Bankless to learn from all the contributions that are made, because we're gathering all of these insights about all these contributions that are made across platforms and bringing them into one place so that data can be analyzed, and so that analysis can turn into insights. And then, there's this fun piece. I've been in technology for quite a long time, but before that I was in the entertainment world. And there's nothing that I like better than a crazy, fun, epic story. And so we thought, hey, let's throw that into the mix, and I'll share that piece with you as well. So we're going to walk through each of these pieces. So how it works, we're starting with make. Again, I promise simplicity. It's actually way simpler than the complexity that it sounds like. So how do we make it easy for people to make contributions? I hope everybody can see my screen. So first, anybody who's a part of Bankless can see a list of contributions that are desired by Bankless DAO, and the Bankless DAO is willing to reward in some way. And you can see what that looks like on the side of the screen. And then if people want to make the contribution, all they need to do is connect their wallet, and potentially also connect to in order to essentially be validated, connect to Twitter or to Discord or wherever that contribution is. But that's it. People see all the ways they can contribute. They connect their wallet, they make contributions, and they are rewarded for contributions that they've made in the past. And going forward, they're rewarded for contributions that they make today and in the future. So how does Bankless thank those contributions? Also pretty simple. We can auto-validate that those contributions are made across platforms. So right now, we support auto-validation on Snapshot and on Twitter and on Discord, and coming soon, there's also platforms like GitHub and Discourse and others. So we auto-validate the contributions are made. Crypto rewards then get auto-distributed upon validation, and then contributions get recognized. I talked about this a little bit before, but with an on-chain thank you note. So, it's really hard to see, to reward, to recognize all the stuff that's happening across platforms right now. For Bankless, we make it really, really simple. And then how do we learn from it? So because, again, we record all the contributions that are made on chain in one place, that means that individuals have a log, and you can kind of see what this looks like on screen, of all the cross-platform contributions that they've made, of the rewards that they've received, of the date. If they want to look on, as an example, Polygon scan, we're multi-chain to see the receipt, they can do that as well. Then there is a community view of all the contributions that are made in the community. And in the future, what we're doing is we'll be helping you to drive and generate insights from all that data so that it can support you in understanding how to work with the engagement that exists and get better and better and better engagement over time. And then there's the fun. So we decided that we were going to tell this crazy interactive NFT story about a group of characters that we call the missionaries. And the missionaries are on a really big mission. They want to thank every contribution that was ever made and will ever be made in crypto. And they're going to thank it in two ways. They want to thank it with crypto rewards, but also with an on-chain thank you note. And when they thank 1 billion contributions, this holy Swiss vault will be opened, and all of the rewards inside it, wait for some other time to tell you exactly how that happens, but will be distributed to the communities and who partnered with us, and to the contributors who contributed proportionate to the level of contributions of those contributors or of the members of those communities. And so the way that this story will unfold is that the missionaries will go on missions every couple weeks, and each mission they'll partner with a different DAO or NFT community. And the examples of missions might be thank 80% of all the contributions that occur in Bankless DAO over the course of the next couple weeks. So each mission will be a partnership with communities that we care about, whose values we care about, whose values we want to lift up and hold up. All of the contributions, obviously, that people make on the missions will be rewarded. They get rewarded with our native token. It's called Thrive. And the way that we make this particularly relevant to Bankless or to any of the communities that we work with is that you can allow Thrive to be redeemed for, as an example, chippies or other NFTs that you provide to us. So that's the fun part. So we contextualize all of the, really, I think, incredible technology and community work that we're doing within the context of this epic interactive story. So now I'm just going to get super specific about kind of the proposal on the table for Bankless DAO, and I think this is something that Justice and Synod and Robert and I have been working on and super excited about. First, it's for Bankless to be one of the first communities that we work with, and you'll be able to use all of our technology, which is really, truly, we're cutting edge technology in the space for free. We'll set everything up for you, essentially be partners to you for nothing. We'll give you Thrive, which is the native currency that we use for rewards. It's worthwhile noting that we're building sort of underlying technology to in the future be token agnostic. So in the future, you'll be able to use Bank as well. And then you'll be able to offer chippies or let's say other NFTs as rewards for people for earning certain amounts of Thrive. And, for a limited time, there's kind of one other piece of this. We can do this within or outside of the context of missions. It would be really fun, I think, to make Bankless one of our first missions. We could do tons of meaningful co-marketing. I think that there's upside in all kinds of ways. We could, get I think a lot of the members of the Bankless community really inspired and engaged and connected to all of the really important and meaningful work that you're doing. One of the coolest, I think, things about partnering with us is we have a sense of making it, of what it takes to make it really easy to kind of get going. So what's required? Just a couple things. We define all of the different ways that people can contribute and be engaged in Bankless, ways that are really important and meaningful for you. If it's the case that some of the platforms that we work with, like say Snapshot or Twitter, all of that data is open. We can access it without a bot or API read access. But something like Discord, we just need a simple bot to be installed so that we can read when contributions have been made and then auto validate and auto reward them. Then you would get to choose the member rewards you make, and then we get to share and promote it to sort of the Bankless community. It's really that simple. I know that there's like this, for many good reasons, kind of trend to toward anonymity in sort of the crypto world, but I think it's also important to create a base layer and kind of foundational layer of trust. And we have a really special team. The core kind of founding team around ThriveCoin, it's worth noting, many of us have spent many years working together on a vision that is very dear to us. And we have gone to good schools. I frankly don't think that matters much. Many of the best people that I've ever worked with have not. We've all scaled businesses significantly. On our team, our execs and leaders at really top groups and top organizations in and around crypto. And a number of us have done fairly well kind of in the more traditional use of Bankless. And so much of what we do is about thanks. It's thanking contributions and deep engagement in crypto communities. And so I guess it makes more sense than ever for me to end with a thank you slide. And I'm excited to answer any questions. I'm excited to show you some other stuff. We can kind of walk through a little bit of the site live. I can show you some data that I know Senate thought was and Justice thought was super cool. So just direct me where you want to go so that you can get the most out of this, and I'm excited to go there.
Amazing. Thank you, Daniel. Lovely. Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I think our members here now can truly see what you guys are up to, and I think that's something the whole ecosystem needs in some kind of way, and we've been waiting for this. And what you said, it solves some problems we currently have, and especially I love like your approach and from where you're coming from to truly contribute to this whole space in like a positive way, and make and reward meaningful contributions. So thank you for that. And I think for the next step, I would actually love to, if you could give us a walkthrough, maybe how can we actually use ThriveCon today already?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I'll give you a walkthrough sort of right now, and we'll make it pretty. I'll actually start it because I'm kind of logged in. You'll notice, by the way, I just recently got rewarded with 10 more Thrive coin because either I followed or tweeted at Bankless DAO. But I'll start here. This is the Bankless DAO community page, and we can make it much prettier, but this is what it is. And you'll notice that there are all these things that essentially contributions that people can make to the Bankless community. So if you follow Bankless DAO on Twitter, you can get rewarded with some Thrive coin. By the way, if I'm already connected on my account, if I was not connected, there'd be a button here that just says connect your Twitter account. You can mention at Bankless DAO when tweeting on Twitter, get rewarded with Thrive coin. This is the case right now. You could tweet with the hashtag GoBankless. You could participate in a guild for a month. That actually leverages. We have internally we call these contribution apps. We have an app called the Activity app, which allows you to do manual validation for any activities that require some form of manual validation. So if people are participating in a guild, would be a great example. Yes, they did it. Somebody knows. Then you can manually validate, and they could be rewarded with Thrive. If you've ever voted on a Bankless DAO proposal, you can get rewarded with Thrive coin. If you voted on 10 proposals in the Bankless DAO space on Snapshot, you can get rewarded. All of this exists right now. So if you guys wanted to go, I can maybe copy and paste or send it if you want to copy and paste this link and throw it into the channel. This is live right now, and it's worthwhile noting that we also support Discord and other platforms. For Discord, all we need is a bot. And once we've got that bot, we can go through and figure out the contribution types that we want to create and recognize for Bankless. I'm going to go all the way up to the top because so much of crypto is not user friendly, right? It's like, it's really hard for people to figure out how to make their way through UI and UX. For us, we wanted to make this as simple as possible. So how does it work? You're probably already contributing to Bankless. So you connect your wallet and you claim contributions that you've already made or that you'll make in the future. And then you can get on-chain recognition and crypto rewards. And I just clicked on that so you can get a sense of what this looks like. So I tweeted with the hashtag GoBankless. I did in the Bankless DAO community. I got a reward. Here's my reward date. Here's my receipt. If I want to go look at what that looks like on chain, this is what it looks like. You can see that I've also contributed to some other communities as well. Again, logging in is as simple as if I sign out, it's as simple as connecting my wallet and getting in and making things happen. So does anybody have any questions about how it works and how it even currently right now, how you can play with making it work for you and for Bankless, which I would recommend you do. It's again, as simple as connecting wallet and we'll
set contributions or something like that.
Yeah. So what we do is we work with you. We're actually building sort of an internal user experience and user flow so that it doesn't have to be on sort of a Google Doc, but we work with you to sort of get the information for the contributions. What's the name? How many completions are allowed? What's the reward that we want to offer? What are the max rewards per activity? What's the description of, internally we call it a listing, but of the contribution. Maybe there's an image connected to it. And then we upload it to the community page and then it goes live. So there's a little relational piece to make sure that it is the right contributions. And then we have to be supporting the platforms. So right now we're supporting 5 platforms, and going forward we'll be releasing a new one every single week. I mean, this is the core crazy underlying technology has already been built. And now it's a question of step-by-step scaling it to support the communities that we support.
Thank you. Again, this is really cool. One more question. So what is the difference between a reward and compensation?
Oh, great question. So we reward people with crypto. And the question is like, how does somebody personally view a reward? Do they consider a contribution? Do they consider compensation, or do they consider it a thank you? And I think that's up to the mind of the beholder. But the way that we think of it, so this is just definitionally the way we think about it, is a thank you is a reward and recognition. So every time, if we want to thank people for meaningful, valuable engagement that happened for Bankless, then we reward them with crypto and we recognize them with an on-chain thank you note.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jim, sorry. I don't know. I joined a little bit late, but I've got one question. I'm trying to view my reward or control 20 Thrive on MetaMask, and it's saying add Mumbai network to MetaMask. I don't know if you've done something with regards to this already, or maybe I missed it.
So I didn't hear the question exactly. It was something about Mumbai, which is sort of the testnet Thrive that we're using. So add Mumbai in MetaMask. Was it a question of like when you're connecting your wallet, adding Mumbai as a network? Is that correct?
Yeah, you have to add Mumbai for you to be able to view the Thrive token on MetaMask, right? Because I'm being requested to do so.
Oh, great. Yeah. So Thrivecoin, the native token is currently in testnet, and because it's currently in testnet, the easiest way to do it is to add Mumbai, or we're doing it through Mumbai. So just add Mumbai to your wallet. You'll be able to view it. It shouldn't be an issue.
Should be on Polygon or on Mainnet.
Yeah. So. Sorry, I can answer. So it's Polygon chain, and the network is Mumbai,
which is the testnet of the Polygon chain, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and maybe to chime in back, because the thing here is what you also just showed, the spreadsheet. What I really love about this is that we can work with you together to establish the criterias. So this is what I love. Like, going forward, thinking about partnerships is like, how can you create meaningful partnerships and kind of develop teams cross communities, or let's say with Thrivecoin and us. Sorry, I have to mute. Like I'm getting notifications. I can't even hear myself. So we can work with you together to establish criteria and also adjust them going forward. So I'm thinking about this, and maybe you can also show us like what kind of data you can extrapolate from the input that you guys have. The thing here is we've been talking today, like in the bank utility conversation, of how can we increase the utility of bank, and how can we make people, for example, how can we recognize long-term contributors? And one of our ideas is to potentially lock away bank for a specific amount of time. So vote escrow bank, not value escrow bank, I think, not vote escrow. And so thinking about this is, let's say if you're governance interested in governance, and you're aligned with our community by locking away, for example, bank for a specific amount of time, you can be able to help us establish criteria together with the Thrivecoin team going forward. So, and I'm trying to think a little bit ahead of how can the partnerships like the ones that we are hopefully developing here help us not just improve the tokenomics of bank, but also create again, meaningful contributions. This is all what it's about, but also help us make this collaborations in this ecosystem more thicker and more meaningful, where we really, as you also said, like thrive together. And so, like, maybe you can show us the things that you can generate out of this, and maybe we can talk a little bit more about this.
Yeah. So I really appreciate you saying, and that's really, I think it's the big question. Like, how do we make the work that we do together more meaningful and more valuable for us as individuals and for us as a community? And a big part of that, I'm glad you reminded me of that because we can come back to it now. So a big part of that is, how do we understand, like, how do we even understand what we're doing? And generally speaking, I think that's been an open question in DAOs for a long time because we can't even see most of the activity that exists in DAOs. So if we can't see it, and if we're not recording, if at best we're recording it on one platform or another, like you've got your Discord activity in Discord, you've got your Snapshot activity in Snapshot, you've got your Discourse activity on Discourse, then what you're looking at is data that has insights that's specific to one place, but not all places. And one of the things that we're really excited about doing is bringing it all together because we're recording all contributions with a receipt on chain. And once we're able to do that, we should be able to track contributions across platforms and give you insights that you haven't seen before. And so what you're going to see is just, frankly, the beginning, like the very beginning from our perspective, because we still haven't built out the insights dashboard, the analytics dashboard. And, there's a bunch of next steps that we're excited about, but this is just some data from Bankless snapshot usage, but just to kind of give you a sense of what's possible and what we can build on. So what you're looking at is all the active voters, all the people who have voted in Bankless snapshot proposals over the course of the last year. Every single proposal. Here you're looking at dormant voters. These are people who are really active for a long period of time, but aren't currently active. So if you're thinking like, gosh, who do we reach back out to? It would be dormant voters, right? If you're thinking like, who are our mainstays? It's active voters. These are people whose voting power increased with each vote. So each time they voted on Snapshot, they had more bank, right? These are like really your true believers. These are voters who are active not just in Bankless snapshot proposals, but across a number of different DAOs. And these are your cross-pollinators. These are the people who can help you to build new and meaningful relationships across sort of the DAO spectrum. These are your biggest voters. It's important to know who they are. Got to know sometimes where voting power lays. These are people who are only active in Bankless proposals. These are people probably who are really, really deeply connected from a vision and value standpoint. So much so that really Bankless is all they do, at least as far as voting. It is worthwhile to note, we had a chuckle about this in an earlier call. Distributed, decentralized, but there have only ever been 7 authors of Bankless proposals. Also, pretty fun to see that the first 15 members of Bankless have continued to vote on nearly every single proposal. And it's always really nice when the people who were there in the beginning are there today. And of course, these are new voters and people whose hands we can maybe hold a little bit more, who can help us to close our eyes and imagine what the future is of Bankless and also the DAO world. So this is just an idea of some of the data that we can collect, and it's really just step 1. We're really excited about step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you, Daniel. Any other questions here from our members and listeners? Now is the chance.
Quick question. Just seen Twitter and Snapchat. Is this the only place contributions are going to be counted? What about YouTube engagement? What about engagement across the Discord and Duet and the other tools that are used by the Bankless DAO? Just saying only Twitter and Snapchat. And we're not talking about the forum too, Bankless forum. So yeah.
Yeah. So right now, what's live? What you're looking at is just Twitter and Snapshot. But once we kind of begin to go forward together, next thing that we'll do is we'll install a little bot and we can do Discord. And then we have a number of others that are planned in the near future. So Coordinape will be one, and likely Discourse will come soon after that. We're launching again a new platform about once a week going forward. What you see in that page is live, and you're going to be rewarded with Thrive coins, so do it. But it's also live just for demo versions. As we go forward, we'll really fill this out in a way that is most meaningful for Bankless in terms of the kind of engagement that you want to drive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and whoever, so we are working closely with Daniel and Robert, so me and Justice on, and as well as Zero Bear, Tony, on the partnership, and whoever is wants to contribute meaningfully to it and then jump in and help us going forward by also sharing some perspective, invited, just hit me up. And we are the proposal that will be submitted to the community forum is close to done or already done. So there will be something coming up very, very soon. And if you have further questions and you can't wait to get the answers from Daniel or Robert, I think they can reach out to you. What's the best way to reach out to kind of connect with you guys outside of this town hall or this conversation in this room?
Yeah, so Discord, Twitter, email, all of them work. My email is really simple. It's Daniel@thrivecoin.com. But you can also just reach out to me on this Discord, and I'm pretty active. And of course, reach out and let's have a conversation. I'm excited to hear your thoughts, your feedback, all that good stuff.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Dimitri.
So if you've already done the sort of follow on sort of the different tasks there, it takes about a day, so 24 hours, for us to go through all the different tasks and then reward you. So you may just want to just wait, and within a day, it will have noticed, and you will have been rewarded for any of your previous tasks. So if you had done it a day before or earlier than that, it will instantaneously reward it, or close to more instantaneously reward it.
Okay, thanks. My second question would be, if there are other DAOs and other communities that I am part of that may be also part of Thrive Coin, how do I find out about those?
So what we'll be doing going forward is we'll be sort of making it easy for people to navigate different communities, as we've been in, testnet and let's call it like pre-launch. It hasn't made sense for us to do that, but it's definitely on our development roadmap to make it really easy for you to search for and then connect to other communities.
So essentially what I understand is this is a Web3 solution of earning tokens for doing various tasks in relation to DAOs in particular. Is that right? Like,
I think that's one. Yeah, that's certainly a good way of framing it. The way that I would frame it is, we're helping to drive deep and meaningful engagement in Web3 communities. And we're doing that by making it really easy for communities to thank community members for all of the valuable stuff that they do for them. And we thank them in two ways. We thank them with tokens, and we thank them with which are essentially rewards, and we thank them with recognition, which is a thank you note on chain.
You know, I got one question. I'm trying to test that here. Now there is this task on the dashboard that says participate in a guild for 1 month. That's on the Bankless DAO. I'm seeing 100 Thrive reward over there, but it's not saying completed one time, like to vote on the Bankless DAO proposal on Snapchat. What could possibly be the problem for this? There are lots of queues we've been doing contributions in for the past 1 month, even more than 1 month, as a matter of fact, consistently. So what can be the cause for this? It's not checked manually. There's no clickable link there or button.
Great. So I'm in an airport right now, and so it was a little bit hard to hear you, but I think you were asking about the participate in a guild for 1 month, and I'm happy to kind of address that. So there is, again, our internal term for what we're building to support across platforms, we call it contribution apps. And we built a contribution app called the Activity app. And the Activity app is the only app that is not auto-validating contributions. So it is manually validating of contributions. So what Bankless would do is you guys would set up administrators who, for different kinds of contributions that are really meaningful, maybe they take longer, and there's no great way to auto-validate it, maybe because it doesn't even happen digitally or online. Somebody would say, I'm done. An administrator would look at it, and then they would manually validate it. So we were giving an example there of the only, it's the only example of an activity app, what we call internally listening, but contribution. So the way that would work is an administrator would look at that, you'd say, I did it, it's manually validated, then you get rewarded. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it totally did, but it was helpful. I'm just looking forward to all of that. I'm not going to say it didn't. At least it gave a little scope on, okay, this is the kind of manually validation, something, and all of that. And I'm looking forward for all this. I'm so impressed with this. So impressed. So looking forward to the betterment of it. And yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate it. I mean, this is very much a labor of love for all of us. And I know that the work that you do with Bankless is a labor of love too. So I have a feeling that this is going to be a special relationship, a special partnership.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. And thanks again for your presentation. And thank you both for coming up. And you also, Robert, I know it's deep in the night where you're at. So good job. Hope you'll be joining Daniel soon in a few weeks or a little bit more than a month. And so, thanks for coming up. And I'm sure that our community members may either hit you up, or we will probably enjoy the software going forward, and as well as the partnership. So thanks.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for putting this together, and excited about everything that comes next. I'll talk to all of you soon. Look forward to connecting.
Yeah, talk to you soon, and good flight.
Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye. Bye, Robert. Good night.
Dude, thanks.
Good night. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.